welcome back to my YouTube channel, or if it's your first time here, hi, my name is Missa. Where have you been in my life? How are you all doing on this fine day? I don't know what day this video goes up on. I'm filming it on the 17th, so who knows. Today, as you can see by the title, I'm going to be comparing, after many requests, the Huda Beauty NUDE palette to the Revolution Pro new neutral palette. See what they did there. So this is 56 Great British pounds. Makes me barf. Can't believe I've spent that much money on a palette. Yeah, it's very pretty, it's very neutral, but it's a bit purple, which is why I bought it, and also for the really funky shades that have like chunks in them. Mine are all mixed up, you can't really see the chunks anymore, so I might put a picture up on screen if you've never seen the chunks. And then this is the Revolution Pro New Neutral, which looks incredibly similar. I don't have time to swatch it side by side, unfortunately, so hopefully I can just do that later on and then put it on screen now so you can see. Hopefully it's appearing on screen, I don't know, I hope so. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk until you've seen it. So I don't want to fly around too much. I think it's best if we just jump into it. What side do you think is Huda and what side do you think is Revolution Pro? I should probably show you a bit closer. What do you think? So if you want to see which is on which side, and then at the end what I think of each palette, well no, it's what I think of this palette because I've already given my thoughts on this in a previous video, then let's get going. So I've already got my base on clearly and my brows. I'm just going to go in with a pinch more concealer on my eyelids just because I do have it on, but it's been on for a while, so I'm just going to use a little pinch of this Colourpop one. Blend that all over. I want both palettes to have a nice chance by having a wet base. Okay, let's get into business. I'm going to use the dupe on this side, so the Makeup Revolution on this side and the Huda on this side. So at this point I haven't even swatched this palette, I literally just dunked my nail in this concealer shade. So I'm going to take the shade Majestic up here, just on a flat brush, and creasing my creasers in. I'm going to start patting this on this outer corner. Probably going to do just like a diffused cut crease because they're a lot easier than a normal cut crease. This shade's gone on pretty nicely. I thought it was a bit patchy when I first like put it on my eye, but I've done a couple of layers now, a few layers, and it's alright. My under eyes aren't wet, so I might add concealer along them later on. From the Huda palette, I'm taking the shade Love Bite, the deep purple. This is on a different brush as well. See how much I creased? Yeah, I can already tell that this is a much different tone. This is so much more purple. And maybe it will change as I place it on, but this one looks more kind of, I would say like aubergine, and this one's more like raspberry purple, if that makes any sense. Probably not. I would say the Huda is going on more pigmented. Can you see the different tones? Probably can. On a Morphe M506, I'm going to dip into Karma, which is this pinky tone here. It looks more mauve in person. I'm going to use this Karma shade to start blending the edges. I think this will be okay. I can go in with a different tone in a minute. I think this is maybe a pinch too light. Yeah, I'm going to go in with Zoned instead of Karma. I know I've just used it, but you know what I mean. I'm going to go in with Zoned first. I think this will help blend out this dark shade better. Tonight I'll be kissing, but I don't really have a case. Yeah, this shade here is definitely working better to blend out that first shade. What is it called? Majestic? Yeah, Majestic. It's blending it pretty nicely, I've got to say. Once I go in a couple of lighter shades as well, I think it'll look pretty good, pretty blended. So on another different Morphe M506, I'm going to go in with Spanked from the Huda palette because I kind of covered up the Karma shade, so I might as well just go in straight with this one. See, the thing with having glitter in a palette is flecks of glitter go into all your matte shades, and it's very frustrating. Let me make sure I'm on screen. And I'm just going to start blending out this side. Exactly the same. In the pants, these are just such different shades from one another, like in the different palettes. It honestly kind of feels like I'm using a fake just from the way that it looks so much more like muted in the Makeup Revolution palette than what the shades look like in the Huda, if you kind of get what I mean. So it just kind of looks like I've, you know, bought a fake off AliExpress or something. Oh, those birds. But I mean, so far I'm not complaining about the performance, just from even putting these Huda shades on my eyes, like the tones are completely different. I just feel like they're more rich than the tones on the Makeup Revolution side. I've just cleaned off my Morphe M506, and from the Makeup Revolution palette, I'm going in with this shade here called Delight. I don't think it's focusing. There you go, Delight. Had to cut all my fingernails off. They were all so nice and long, and then two broke, and I was like, no, can't deal with that. Right, let's wiggle. Oh, that's light. That is probably too light for what I'm going for in the Huda palette. It's a really lovely peach, but this is just kind of covering up. This is going to be maybe a good finishing shade, but yeah, I need to choose a different one. So I'm going to choose, I don't know. I'm going to have to choose the shade Cam because it's the only kind of other lighter shade that's going to blend out these two deeper ones. Or I could go back in with Karma. Let's try Karma. Just looking at it like, no, I've already used that shade, but I kind of covered it up, so I'm going in with Karma. Last night we had something. Tonight I'll be kissing. But I don't really have. As I'm getting to these lighter shades, I'm just dragging them in a bit more. I mean, I've got to say this is blending really nicely. Like, I'm not seeing huge, you know, harsh lines or anything. So matching shade from the Huda, the shade Tickle. This is actually dustier than the shade Karma from the Revolution palette. I just prefer the tones that are going on here than are going on here. But both are, I do think, very pretty. I just, you know me, I like the kind of bolder and more jewel tones. And I feel like that's what the Huda's giving me more. and I do feel like the Huda is more pigmented, so I feel like this isn't as good a blending out shade as it was for the Revolution side, because it's going on way more pigmented. So whereas the Revolution side really kind of diffused my edges, this is still quite a harsh edge because it has a bit more pigment behind it. So yeah, to me personally, this Revolution side looks more blended. This one looks more bold and purple. So that's the only feeling I'm getting right now. So then I'm gonna go in with Cam. So the kind of lightest lilac-y toned purple in the Revolution palette. Just on my Morphe M506. Again, what side am I doing? This side. Don't mess it up, Melissa. Oh gosh. For now, I would say that's looking, you know, pretty nice and blended. I'm just going to wipe off this brush and just grab a bit more of the shade Zoned, this top corner one, beside the deep purple. And just kind of wiggle it here. Just feel like I need it. So the Huda one is called Lace. And then just like I did on the Revolution side, I'm going to go in with a bit more Spanked, because I feel like going in with that more pastel-y shade has created quite a harsh line. Just going to wiggle that around. I still really don't know what I'm going to do on my inner corner, but I think we have to test that shade from the Revolution palette that's actually got the like specks in it, you know. There we are, there's where we are thus far. I'm just gonna go back in with each of the first deepest shades from each palette and just intensify that colour. I'm actually gonna take the concealer shade from both palettes, just put it on my inner corner, just a pinch, just so that I've still got a tacky base for whatever shadows I go in with over the top. Just gently, gently. And then I'm just going to flip that brush over and use the one from the Huda palette, which is just covered in eyeshadow. So as you probably know, in the Huda palette we've got 4 shades that are speckled. In this palette we've only got 1, because this one and this one and this one are just like metallics on this one, and then these 2 are the pressed glitters. So we're going to have to use this one. So let's give her a swatch on the finger. That's what it looks like. There we go. So I'm going to pick up this flat brush and we're going to pick this one up. This is definitely much firmer than the Huda side, by the way. There it is on my brush. I'm not going to wet it or anything. And we're going to place that on. I'll probably go over it with my finger, but I just want to try it on the brush first. It's very pretty, isn't it? So there she is with a brush. So let me use my finger and pack more on, so we get maximum payoff. You do this with a high-end palette anyway, so it's not like I'm trying to give this more of a chance. I do this with my most expensive shadows and my cheapest, so that's very reflective. I wonder why they didn't put more than one in the Revolution palette. Was it too expensive, or did they want to like not 1000% copy Huda? I wonder. So from the Huda Beauty palette, the correlating shade would be Daydream, in terms of where it's placed in the palette, but also I think in terms of tone. They're a bit more kind of wet and squishy in the Huda palette. Oh yes, see that? I feel like that's maybe more shiny straight off the bat. I don't know, I feel like it just made more of an impact. This one does have more fallout though than the Revolution side. Thing is, I don't mind fallout because usually you get more payoff from your shadows because they're not as firmly pressed. So it's kind of, that's what you get, but you get the better payoff. I would say this is a bit darker than the Revolution one as well. And then grabbing it on my finger, oops, almost knocked over my can of Monster there. Okay, so the Revolution one is definitely lighter, 100%, you know what I mean? Why do I have to say that all the time? I'm gonna grab a pencil brush and I'm gonna grab the shade Hidden from Revolution. And I'm just gonna blend this. And I'm gonna use a different pencil brush. And from Huda, I'm gonna grab Kinky. Right, what now? We need to finish this outer corner blending. I'm just going to put on one new shade on camera and then I'll just fiddle around off camera with each palette on each eye. Just because I don't want to, it's not like a tutorial or anything, it's just testing. So I'm going to go back in with the Revolution shade Delight. I mean, it does look really peach in the palette, and actually even when it picks up on the brush, I feel like when it applies to the skin it's just so pale. But it's almost like putting on like a white. Yeah, that's not got like any peachiness to it once it's hitting my skin. It's literally just getting rid of what I've done. Okay, well that's where we are. I'm not going to play with any new shades. I'm just going to go in with like the deeper shades and then just kind of work on my outer blending, and then we'll come back and do like inner corner, lower lash line, that kind of thing. But so far I think they're very comparable. I would say I've not had any trouble with the Makeup Revolution palette at all. I think it's gone on really well. Huda's side's gone on well, but I do think that deeper shade is probably more patchy than this deeper shade. I don't know, maybe just because it's deeper and it's showing more. I don't know. But that is what I've filmed with you. And then I'll just go work on my blending and we'll be back. Right, I spent literally about 1 minute on that. Just thought, what's the point? You know, I think it looks alright. We have to obviously test the loose glitter, don't we? Don't we? So I'm just gonna grab a brush. Alright, I'm just gonna grab this lip brush. I'm just gonna grab the like concealer from the palette. I'm just gonna pat that under my eye just to give a kind of wet base, to give these shadows a bit more chance of popping. So back to my pencil brush, I'm gonna take this shade, just gonna take this shade Zoned. and just run that underneath. And then I will take a little bit of Majestic, just place it here. Then a different blending brush and the shade Cam. Run that all along the bottom. I'll always use a glitter glue even if it is a pressed glitter, so I'm just going to use my Barry M glitter fixer, just because first one I grabbed. Pencil brush, glue, so I'm just going to run this along my under eye. Oh gosh, that's made my eyes water. So the shade I'm going to use is called Golden, which is a really weird name considering this is like a super like reddy purpley glitter, but that's fine. Oh, my eyes are watering terribly. And I'm going to press this onto the glitter glue. Hold on, my eye is going to start crying. Getting a pinch of fallout, as you would imagine with any kind of glitter that you use. Let's see. Please wipe away. Okay, so that is that one, and then same thing with the Huda Beauty palette. I feel like I'm getting less fallout from this shade. The glitter feels a bit smoother. It's like picking up on the brush nicer. It's not all chunky and dry feeling. This one still feels like kind of wet when I pick it up on a brush, whereas the Revolution one kind of felt a bit dry and a bit chunkier. However, both are very pretty colours. So I'm just going to go through on lashes off camera, and then we will do our inner corner and then give our final thoughts. What do you think? So for my inner corner, I'm going to use the shade Glitzed from the Revolution palette. I think I'll probably just wet it straight off the bat. Throw it in there. That's quite nice, you know. That's lovely and bright. I like that shade. This isn't fallout, this is like dry skin. So just ignore that. Now, if I was to use the corresponding shade from the Huda palette, it would be this one, which I think might be too dark, but we'll do it anyway, because it's the only shade that I could possibly use apart from the like matte pale shade. This is the like nice and chunky formula. Eyelashes, by the way, are Cocoa, what are they called? Goddess. See, this is giving me a cast. This is a bit too dark. This one's nice and light. But we're doing equals. And my eyeliner is, I think, Viper by Urban Decay, I think. That's the eyes. that's the eyes. So let me zoom out and we'll give our thoughts. Let me just do a nice close-up for you. So this is the Huda Beauty side. Ignore it if I've applied my lashes horribly. And then this is the Makeup Revolution side. Okay, so I've put my finishing touches on, really into like embellished headbands at the moment, by the way. Get them all on eBay, but ASOS has some really nice ones. And then threw in these tips because they kind of match. And that's the look. I think, I mean, looking in the mirror and looking in my viewfinder or my camera, it's very similar on both eyes. Like from a distance, it's not really noticeable that I've got two different palettes on. Even like a bit closer, like it's very similar, isn't it? Yeah, I would just say this side is a bit more kind of muted and a bit more soft than the Huda side. I think her shades are a bit more jewel toned. They're obviously a bit more pigmented, and that's the only real difference, because honestly, in terms of like blendability and things, they were both exactly the same. I can't say that the Huda was far superior to the Makeup Revolution, to be quite honest. I would say this is a better palette overall, in my opinion. I think it's got more depth to it. It's also got more of those like sparkly, chunky shades in it. And I would also say that this peach tone, which I use a lot when I use this palette to blend out colours, has more of a peach tone to it, whereas the one in the Revolution palette is more like, it just goes on like a cream shade. But this is, what is it, 10 or 12 pounds. This is 46 pounds. No, this is 56 pounds. This is almost 60 pounds for a palette. Like that is, these are the most expensive palettes that I own in my collection. I've got all three of her big palettes. I bought them all myself, and they are incredibly expensive. I remember buying my first one, I threw up in my mouth when I spent that much money. And this, for what, 10 or 12 pounds, is an incredible dupe. And yeah, it's that argument again of Makeup Revolution. It is copying, it's completely copying this palette, obviously with only one of the like speckled shades in it. But do I really care? No, because there is a lot of people that will not or cannot spend £56 on a palette, and also a lot of you will have daughters or sons or nieces or aunties or little sisters that want this palette, and it's just unaffordable. So that this one is therefore a really good dupe, and I would recommend it, because to be honest, I was very impressed with this palette. So yeah, in my opinion, it is a really good dupe of the Huda, and if you've wanted the Huda and you don't want to spend that much money, just get this. Sure, I didn't use every single shade, but the shades I did use, I was impressed by. And actually, on second thoughts, when I was looking up at my eyes up close and I was putting my lashes on, I think the glitter in the Revolution one is a bit nicer because it is chunkier, so it looks a bit more kind of special, whereas the Huda one is so finely milled that it kind of looks like a really sparkly eyeshadow, whereas this one looks, yeah, I put glitter on. And you know me, I'm a glitter fiend, so I prefer that. So let me know your thoughts as I applied it. What did you think? What do you think now that they're on both eyes? What is your opinion? Are you gonna buy it? Are you not? Why not? Or are you gonna buy the Huda one now that you've seen the performance of this one? So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm sorry it took me so long to do. I just had so many other videos that I kind of planned and wanted to film first, to be quite honest. So if you did enjoy it, please do give it a big thumbs up, and also leave me a comment down below, because I do reply to every single one of my comments. and subscribe, because it's just the polite thing to do. A big thank you to my channel Patreons as well. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much for the financial support to my channel, as well as your support of being subscribed. Our next target is 75 Patreons for our next giveaway, which we're not that far away from today when I'm filming on the 17th, so maybe we'll have reached that target by now. I don't know, you'll have been notified. And if you are not a Patreon, or you can't be a Patreon, or you don't want to be a Patreon, no pressure. I hugely appreciate you for being subscribed and watching my videos, because that is also a massive support to me. So on that note, I am gonna go probably take a few pics, because these earrings are incredible and I want to show them off. And yeah, gonna go. Let me I just feel like I need to show you them up close now that I spoke about them. They're like acrylic with spikes on them. I mean, they're from eBay. I'll link them in the description box. Yeah, I'm gonna go, and I really hope that I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye everyone.